Watch as the agent emerges from his house in the wild, wild jungle of Horizon. He looks at his house, amazed, and he tries to get a better view of it. He goes into his basement, and he accidentally opens a trapdoor right next to a sign that says Horizon sucks. He goes into a door that says Priyala is better, and he looks at a wall made of dirt, wood, and stone. Oh, and gravel as well. He ponders about his life, and he starts to mine the gravel with a pickaxe. He places shroom lights down, and he continues further into his dungeon, into a place where he can sit. He thinks that he has friends, but he has none, and just ponders about his life. It looks like he's going crazy, so he starts to exit. He closes the door, and he reads the sign of Priyala is better. He then turns away, and then he goes missing. He then finally sees the sign that says Horizon sucks, and then he goes into a very perpetual state of depression. He finally rummages through his chest, which keeps collecting his bamboo from his automatic bamboo farm. He reads more signs that is from those Priyalan folks. He then proceeds to go into a cave and mine some random blocks of stone. What is he thinking? We may never truly know. The agent is a very fascinating, intriguing creature that has baffled scientists for far too long. He then proceeds to exit his base. He goes right through the door, attempting to walk. He then looks at his boat, swims up to it, and then ponders life for a bit in the boat. What he thinks about, nobody will ever truly know. He then goes through his chest, which contains a lot of seeds. The agent is known for liking a lot of seeds. He then tosses the seeds in the air, proceeding to enjoy his seeds. He then puts all the seeds back into the chest, and then moves about his day. He starts to go to his pigs, and just watch them. He also looks in the chest, which is filled with his potatoes, and he starts to try and breed the pigs. Truly fascinating stuff. Nobody may ever know what goes through the agent's head. He then stares for a bit, looking at the pigs, and tries to climb out. He then goes back into his chest and puts the potatoes back in. He brings out a bunch of bamboo, and he starts planting them all around himself, right in front of his 20 sign, which is made of solid gold and diamond blocks. Truly fascinating. The agent is a very rich creature. He then proceeds to go into his very overgrown house, which has dirt blocks right at the entrance. He then proceeds to exit his house, wondering about life and what he should do next. He then proceeds to take his fireworks out and runs into the deep, deep jungle of Horizon, which is a dark oak forest. He then strolls about the jungle, his natural habitat. He comes across a cow and proceeds to look at its udders. He then proceeds to torch the cow and watch it slowly burn to death. He then puts it out of his misery and collects its belongings. He then proceeds to go through the jungle of Horizon once again, this time arriving at an actual Minecraft jungle. The agent wonders, as he's never seen a Minecraft jungle before. He then proceeds to make his way through a jungle, looking around, fascinated. He climbs the trees, and then he jumps off, hurting himself. He then goes through the jungle using his elytra. He then proceeds to again climb the trees, not knowing what he's doing. He stares at a cocoa bean and breaks it, getting multiple cocoa beans in the process. He then proceeds to wander through the jungle, looking at a giant pool of water. He keeps thinking about the water as it brings back war memories. He then snaps back into reality and rummages through the jungle once again. He falls and takes some damage. That's not gonna stop him. He uses his elytra to skillfully navigate through the jungle. One may never know where he acquired these skills. He proceeds to steal some sugarcane. While looking at another pool of water, he proceeds to plant a bunch of bamboo. Agent then snaps back to reality once again and proceeds to navigate through the mighty jungle, his natural home where he was born, but has never seen. He slowly backs away from the water pool, which he finds very, very scary. And then, while he runs through the jungle, he proceeds to climb some vines on a giant jungle tree. He then falls off the vines as he's never climbed them before and takes some damage. But that's not gonna stop Agent. He's a very, very persistent creature. He then climbs a tree and uses his elytra once again, this time failing to climb the vines. He finally does climb the vines, but then finds them uninteresting and leaves them. The agent then begins to dig straight down, something that hasn't been advised. He then looks up and proceeds to dig down with a lot of efficiency. What is he doing? One may never know. He then starts to mine straight forward and looks up. He then starts to torch himself to death. Watch as the agent slowly burns to death. That doesn't satisfy him. He wants to go deeper into the caves. And lo and behold, he finds a mine shaft, but that doesn't satisfy him either. He keeps going down and he burns to death, while a zombie comes and jumps on his grave. Now, what will happen to the agent? Find out in the next episode of the Agent docuseries. I'm Ayanani, and I'll see you next time.